Most of the people that call me because they're obsessed over someone, the people who they call me about have all one common thing, and it's that they are emotionally avoidant towards that person. And it just seems like avoidant people, avoidant men, have a magical quality that draws women to them. Why is that? In my life, I've been an avoidant, and I notice that I have two different personalities, okay? And I'm gonna tell you what those two personalities are in this video, and then I'm gonna show you guys what are the things that avoidants do that causes a woman to get triggered by them. How you guys can take away the good from an avoidant so that you could attract more people, right? And how to defend yourself whenever you encounter an avoidant, meaning not just understand how they attack, but also understand how to counter it. Because there's a certain way of dealing with them that you can't deal with them like you deal with normal people. But the crazy thing is that most of the people that I get when they call me and they're obsessed over someone is usually because the person is avoidant. And it's not even the fact that they're avoidant. Most likely they're not even avoidant. Most likely they just don't like them, but they're still entertaining them. And those qualities, humans just seem to not be able to resist like that type of dynamics, right? So because of that, I wanted to understand what is it that avoidance trigger that good guys don't? Why is that? Because the truth is, it works almost on everyone. Even if you're in an intimate relationship, meeting someone who's an avoidant, sometimes the amount of space that they require, it's kind of relieving because you're in a relationship that requires a lot of closeness, right? So it's truly a powerful thing. I call them the lone wolf of dating. And by the way, people were selling paintings here, by the way. These paintings right here are all paintings that I sell. These are the watercolors. The watercolor ones are done by me. This is $1,000. This is done by me. And these ones, for example, this one is $100. This one is already sold. And I also have a Da Vinci painting right here, because I'm an artist, people. Right, the painting of Da Vinci. That's also 1,000. No, not 1,000. That's also 300 because it was made by my students. If you're interested in purchasing my paintings, just click on the description down below, and you'll see not even the description, in the comment section, you'll see a link where it shows where you can purchase the paintings. You guys bought some. It's kind of cool. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's talk about this. So look, the first thing that avoidance that causes a woman to trigger them is that you understand women are nurturing creatures. Anytime they see something that's in need, they have an instinct to help it. And what avoidants do is that avoidants have a melancholy air, a distance that you feel that if they hang around you long enough, you could fix it. So they have the I could fix them type of vibe. And I don't recommend this, so you might go to hell if you do this, but one of the ways to do this is to literally overreact with your weaknesses. If you're depressed, act more depressed, right? If you are distant, don't just be distant. Go completely cold and then come back all of a sudden, right? It's like extremes. And sometimes the emotional coldness, they feel like maybe there's something wrong with you that you need fixing. And the thing is about avoiding is that they don't communicate their emotions too much. So it does feel like they're holding something in, but they're too ashamed to bring it out, right? So when you have fucking Melissa, the white girl who loves going to Africa, and she meets a guy that appears to be broken on the inside, which is the reason why he is distant, well then they're gonna be drawn to it. Their nurturing qualities are gonna be drawn to it. Like I get so many calls from women that tell me, "Oh my God, he's so cold, but his mom died. He must be depressed." I'm like, first of all, I'm not even saying what I was gonna say, but it doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck if Granny died. Okay, that's not an excuse to be distant with me. Whenever you're distant with someone, and then you tell people about your problems or about trauma that makes you cold, I'm telling you, people will not say that you're distant because you don't like me. You're distant because you haven't been fixed. You haven't met the right woman. I know, it's so silly. The next one is, next thing that they have is that they apply the scarcity principle. They're not available that much. And this is actually me. When I'm around a lot of people, I want distance. Like when I hang out with you for a certain time, I need some alone time. I want to go on the walk. I want to do something by myself. And avoidance, by their very nature, they're not playing. They want distance. Like, they want their distance. It's how they're wired. And if you try to push the issue, they're going to push you even further. So that's one thing. They value their personal space. They're the type of person, or woman even, that says, oh, I'm an independent woman. I like my space, right? And this causes people to naturally just be more drawn to you. And again, like I said, they're not even noticing it. I'm not even kidding. Like, they're not aware. They're not saying, ooh, I'm gonna apply the distance strategy now. No. It's just part of their nature. And they get perplexed why so many women get obsessed with them, okay? The next thing is that they also do the push and pull. You gotta understand, even if they like you but not that much, they'll never admit to you that they don't like you enough. Okay, they'll never admit to you. Their behavior will show that they don't like you, but their words will never fully tell you that, because a lot of the times they're not only avoidant with emotions, but they're also avoidant in confrontation. All right, and so they have this push-pull dynamic where one day they want to see you, the next day they don't. One day they're in a good mood, the next day they're not. Men like this are very moody. Now, the reason why is because their parents never gave them the safe space to feel intense emotions without feeling judged. You know, one day I'm gonna tell you guys, I think I told you guys about how the way that attachment style is created in infancy is that I once did a visualization of being a baby. I know, it's silly. But anyway, so I was visualizing it, and I noticed when my mom picked me up, she was stiff, and I didn't like the stiffness. She put me on her chest, and I just heard, She wasn't aware that I was noticing that in the visualization, but I was fully aware, and I was anxious. But when I felt the tenseness and that sound, I wanted her to put me down. So I was like, get me down, man, get me down, bitch. So she put me down, and when she put me down, I was still stressed. I was like, pick me up. But then when she tried to pick me up, I'm like, I don't want that one to pick me up, right? That's how avoidance sometimes are created, where they feel anxious, but then you try to comfort them, but you do it in a bad mood. But now they don't want your comfort because they can sense it, so you put them down. So now they want comfort, but when you're there, they've been trained to say, you know what, every time you give it to me, I don't want it. But they still want it, but they don't know what to do. Like, it confuses them. So they grow used to learning how to do it themselves, or coping mechanisms, or just not seek to get help. A lot of times they struggle showing those emotions in the face. They struggle expressing those things. And for women, a lot of the times, that is really intoxicating because it's like a fucking Scooby-Doo match. Now I gotta find out what's going on. I gotta find out what's in his head, right? The next thing is that, the next one is the blandness, which is the coldness, the lack of emotion, creates a projection. Okay, so I've been told two things by two different types of women. One woman who I really liked, and the other woman who I didn't like, right? And I remember she told me, when the woman that really liked me, that I didn't like that much, she said, you're hard to read. Like, you got a blank look a lot of the times, right? And with the women that liked me, they're like, you're overwhelming sometimes. You're always there. It's not crazy, okay? And none of them, they're not, like I said, they don't look any different. The difference is that with one girl, I'm actually more expressive because I like you. I'm trying to impress you. You know, it's like the fat girl who has a big personality, right? Like, she has to be expressive. But then with the girl that I didn't like, I was more relaxed. And naturally, I am the type of person that has a blank look in my face, right? Not because I'm not feeling anything, but that's just how I am. And this is a product of just not regulating your emotions, feeling more numbness on the inside, so you just develop like a blank look on your face. And women, like, they ask themselves, what's going on, you know? They'll see me be nice, they'll see me be there, but they'll say, why is it that there's just something missing? There's something missing. And what women should do is walk away. Like, don't find out. Well, it depends, right? If you just got to know them and they're not showing you anything, yeah, walk away. But if you're in a relationship with them and you notice that, well then, I'll be honest with you, the only thing that really works is seeing a therapist together, you know? Seeing a therapist together allows you to have that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hello. right? It allows you to have that type of stuff, a projection. Yeah. So a blank look. So sometimes it's just not showing your emotions. I know it's crazy, but that triggers women. That triggers women, right? And the reason why that is, it's just because deep down, they're seeking validation. It actually, what it does is that it triggers insecure thoughts and emotions, right? Now, what do I mean by that is that it triggers like, for example, you might deep down believe that you're ugly, for example, right? And a guy pulls away. Or for better example, my jaw. I remember when I broke my jaw, this girl broke up with me that month. And I was like, yo, are you breaking up with me because my jaw? Like, it'll be back. She's like, nah, I just not into you no more. But instantly my thought was my jaw. Why? Because I was insecure. I'm like, because, I fucking broke my jaw. And so when somebody gives you a blank look, or when you don't understand what's in their minds and they're giving you mixed signals, a woman would naturally start to blame herself. Now, what does she choose to blame herself? Well, she chooses to use their most insecure thoughts. For example, if somebody takes something from my house and one of my enemies visited me, I'm gonna think it was my enemy because I'm insecure about that person. I can't trust them. So your most insecure thoughts, if you have insecurity about your boobs, insecurity about your personality, insecurity about how rich you are, those thoughts are gonna come up. Oh, are they losing interest? Am I not rich enough? Am I not hot enough? Are my boobs not big enough? Or is my butt not big enough, right? And so that type of stuff will cause them to experience those intense like insecurities. And what would happen is that this woman will gravitate towards you and ask, hey, what's going on? Why don't you like me? Why do you go hot and cold? And what's happening is that they're investing time and emotion, right? The insecurity is so intense that they start to invest a lot in trying to figure out why you don't like them back. And it could just be that you're just sending them mixed signals, And with these women, man, I'm sorry, like, your issue is that you try to fix people. You don't accept them for who they are. Like, fixing people is really the number one, not the only one, but one of the number one reasons why most people waste their time in relationships. They just don't understand that that's who they are and they can't change. It just affects a projection, right? Another thing is that when it comes to affecting a projection is that it also, if they had a family member that was cold, well, then you're gonna trigger that projection in them. You remind them of their cold father, of their cold mother, and they start to project upon you, because if you remind them of that, well, the emotions then that they use for that person is gonna be used for you. An example of how that works is, I imagine you thought you saw your dog, right? Let's just say you thought you saw your dog, and you lost it, but you thought you saw him. That split second, what are you gonna feel when you see him? A sense of like, oh my God, is it him? Is that Tyrone the dog? Oh my God, you feel like an emotion, but what are those emotions for? For your dog. You thought you saw him, projection, even though it's false information, but you thought you saw him. So you feel excitement, but then you're like, oh no, it's not him. Boom, right? So that is a moment of projection. You think you see them, but then you realize it's not. Well, this projection, it stays. It doesn't go away. It's part of how you see the world. But the problem is that you've seen the world so often from that point of view that you don't see it as any different. You see it as normal. And so if you're trying to get the benefits of being an avoidant, like literally, you just have to learn how to be a little bit more unavailable, push and pull, have a blank. Don't express all of your emotions too much. Don't express how you feel with words, express it with your actions. But don't show too much of your emotions in your face. Show it, but for every now and then, don't show it, right? And what you're doing here is that you're triggering their most insecure thoughts and emotions. Because when we're in the face of blankness, when we're in the face of nothingness, the first thing that comes up is our insecurities and fears and desires. And you could and what it does is that then those intense desires and fears will color the world, okay? And if you're reminding them of someone in their lives that was cold, your coldness and distance will cause them to see someone from the past in you. And you might notice they get really into you really fast, But it's not that they started liking you quick, but that they transferred over the emotions they had of the person who you reminded them of to you. So it's almost like with that person, maybe they were on step 50, but with you, it takes, you gotta get to know them, step 1, go out, step 2. But since you're projecting, you're assuming a lot of shit, so you start at 50. You don't even try to get to know them because you feel like you know them because you are projecting. And as a guy, when I see that, I'm like, yo, this is easy. This is good. I like that. Thank God I've seen that. Right? But the problem with this is that if you do this, you might get used to it, and a lot of people end up alone, man. Avoiding people end up alone. There's really nothing to. Some people say kill that spider on your head. Some people don't really, they don't really, what's it called? They don't really get to know the person that they're with because they're just assuming they're a certain way. It's a pure projection. So don't forget, the thing that makes them so attractive is that they create the I could fix them quality. I could fix them, I could fix them. They create the scarcity principle. They're not always there. They have the push-pull dynamic where one day they're interested, the next day they're cold. It's the nature of their emotions. They have a blankness that creates projections, right? When you don't know what's going on in their face, your insecurities will start to fill in the blanks, which as a guy, I can see that. And the next thing is that it does trigger your insecure thoughts and emotions. So that's why if you have abandonment issues and you start acting cold, they're gonna start saying, oh my God, this person's gonna abandon me, If you have trust issues and they start acting like weird and quiet, you're gonna think that maybe they're trying to rob you, trying to rob something from you. So not rob you, but like they're trying to play you, right? And that's how it works, man. You gotta be careful with avoiding people, man. Avoidant men, and because there's a lot of avoidant men out there, including myself. And the problem with that is that they're super fucking confusing. They're very confusing, and I don't think it's worth it. I think it's better that you find someone normal, all right? Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Don't forget, if you guys want to purchase my paintings, click in the description down below, and take care.
If you guys enjoyed this video, you guys can check out my other courses that are more in-depth and more profound, such as the Psychological Game of Attraction, which is a course for women who are single, Natural Chemistry, which is a self-help course on women on how to build how to embrace their masculine energy, how to embrace their feminine energy, Natural Chemistry, which is a course for women who are in relationships, Charisma Blueprint, which is a course on how to build charisma, Emotional Mastery, which is a course on how to become emotionally resilient. It's pretty much I teach you what I use to manifest my current life, to be honest with you. And you could purchase them all by joining the Mindful Attraction University, where you could purchase all of my courses. Usually all of my courses are $99. If you purchase all of them, you could get, I believe is $3.99. You could purchase them all. And there you'll be able to get access. And if you don't like the course, you guys can get a refund from Father Alex. Father Alex doesn't scam his subscribers. Father Alex is here to help. So if you guys feel like this video helped, trust me, you will like the course, because it's very rarely that the courses that you purchase from me don't work for that, whatever you're trying to. A lot of people purchase Natural Chemistry to improve their relationships with their partners, and it works. There's plenty of testimony. Just go to the website, Psychological Game of Attraction. If you're single and you apply that course, you won't be single for long, right? I'm telling you, if you're somebody who's overly masculine or you have too much feminine energy, check out the feminine woman. It'll teach you how to balance it so that you could have that sensation where you're feminine, but there's strength emanating from you. Right? I mean, too many women have that feminine energy, but it emanates as weakness. I'm here to teach you guys how to use your masculine so that you could strengthen and show that feminine energy without really looking way too masculine or way too feminine. And that allows you to have that beautiful balance that men respect, but also find attractive, right? So you can purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below, and I'll see you guys inside. Take care.